Welcome back to my channel, guys. With the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the horizon getting closer every single day, speculation about its starter Pokemon increases ever more. Those Pokemon being Sprigatito, Quaxly, and Fuecoco. In particular today, I'm going to be talking about Fuecoco, and more or less my issue with him. See, I don't think he's a bad Pokemon right out of the gate, but I do have a few beefs with his overall design, and here's why. Fuecoco's design is, for want of a better word, ambiguous. It is really hard to say what he is supposed to be, if he's supposed to be anything in particular. There are parts on this Pokemon that do not make sense to me. Like, he's got that little cheese slice on his front there, he's got one on his tail if you look closely. I don't know what the stalk on his head is supposed to be. Is it hair? Is it like a tassel? I don't know. There's so much about Fuecoco that just leaves a lot to be imagined. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but here's the thing. Now, I don't know if Game Freak has ever just come out and declared that this is a canon thing. But what the fanbase has noticed over the years, if you haven't noticed as well, is that all of the fire starters up until now have been based on animals seen in the Chinese zodiac. Now, we embellish a few of them here and there. Charmander isn't actually a dragon per se, but he evolves into Charizard, who is definitely modeled after one. Fennekin isn't exactly a dog, he's a fox, but foxes are closely related to dogs. So you can see how, with a slight difference in definition here and there, we have all of the animals of the Chinese zodiac coming into light through our fire starters. And this has become what I would consider to be a tradition. When Game Freak released Sun and Moon with a cat and then released Sword and Shield with a rabbit, that just set the whole thing in stone in my book personally. But now, at this point, as you can see, there are only 4 slots remaining on the Chinese Zodiac that need to be filled. And Fuecoco, if we are to believe, is going to continue this tradition, has to fill one of them. Initially, looking at his design, my first thought was he must be the snake. He looks quite reptilian, and he's got a little tail. He's got some teeth that look like they could be kind of sharp. He's got to be a snake, right? He couldn't be anything else. And then it begs the question, okay, well, why does he have arms and legs if he's meant to be a snake? And of course, my first thought was, well, maybe he does what Snivy does, and as he evolves, he kind of loses those extra limbs until he becomes, his final form, a giant snake. But that would be kind of a cop-out, I think, if they just completely ripped off Snivy's line like that. I've actually seen theories about Fuecoco stating that he could well actually just be a horse. You see him here going crazy over an apple, and that's not something that we see a lot of starters do. It's random, it's small, but snakes don't eat apples, right? Reptiles in general don't eat apples, but horses do. And the more closely I look at him, the more convinced I am, yeah, he could actually turn into a horse foreseeably. He's got like a long snout, he's got really big powerful back legs, although they don't look like a horse, they are somewhat hoof-like. So he's got that going for him. Whatever the case is, if you Google evolution for Fuecoco, there is no shortage of theories as to what he could possibly look like. It's anyone's guess at this point, honestly, but I'm pretty sure he's definitely going to fall into the category of one of the remaining slots for the Chinese Zodiac. But which one is it going to be? I thought it would be the snake, it could be the horse, but what if it's the ox? I was looking at that cheese slice on his stomach there, and I got to thinking, what if that's supposed to be a little pouch? I know that none of these 4 animals have pouches, but oxen throughout history have always been known and utilized for their ability to carry a lot of stuff long distance, and they're really good at it. So what if that's supposed to be a little pouch, and he can carry things in it, and as he evolves, that little pouch becomes more prominent, and possibly even turns into something like a full-on backpack, or carry case, something that an oxen might have. Based on what we've seen of Scarlet and Violet so far, it looks like what we're dealing with is a tremendously large open world environment. So What if, between the 3 starters that you get to choose from, they also come with the added benefit of helping the trainer in different ways navigate the terrain? What if Fuecoco's whole role is to help you carry more stuff from point A to point B? And what if, say, Sprigatito is just better at helping you get from point A to point B faster because he's a cat, right? He can travel faster, and maybe he can help you see better at night. And maybe Quaxley can help you traverse bodies of water because he's a duck. I'm just throwing ideas out. This could just be a completely unexplored facet of the game. But I feel like if that is true, then that little cheese slice on Fuecoco's stomach could absolutely be a pouch. On a final note here, I do want to say that the whole design of Fuecoco does bug me a lot, because I feel like Game Freak has deliberately made him as ambiguous as possible, if only just to make it difficult to determine what animal from the Chinese zodiac he actually is going to be. If you look at all of the other starters, in most cases, it's kinda painfully obvious what they're supposed to be. Squirtle is a turtle. Totodile is a crocodile, Piplup is a penguin, Chespin is a hedgehog. It's kind of clear and obvious, but in the case of Fuecoco, you don't have that benefit. He literally looks like he could just be anything. Throw some ox horns on this guy, he's an ox. Take away his arms and legs, he's a snake. I don't know what to think of this guy. Competitive-wise, utility-wise, he could be the best thing since sliced bread. But I don't like his design. I don't think anything that comes of Scarlet and Violet is ever going to make me like his design more. I don't think there's going to be a big reveal for any of his forms, future or otherwise, that's going to make me think, wow, that was worth it, him looking absolutely nonsensical in his first form. It just doesn't make sense. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Fuecoco, one of the new starters for the up-and-coming Scarlet and Violet, set for release later this year. I'm personally going with Sprigatito, I'm pretty sure, but that's just because I like the little kitty, honestly. I've seen a lot of love for all 3 of these guys, Quaxley, Fuecoco, Sprigatito. All of them seem to be unanimously loved across the community, which I think is pretty rare. Usually there seems to be one that is just hated. But that doesn't seem to be the case this time. So it's good. I like it. I like the way things are shaping up. I'm reading a lot of promises into how Scarlet and Violet is going to go, so I hope I'm not setting myself up for a bunch of disappointment here when it doesn't actually turn out the way that I envision. Some of the features I've talked about, like with having carry weight and needing to traverse the terrain in specific ways, it seems like there could be something to it, but who's to say? Mark my words, see if I'm right, and thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this video, then please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Find the bell icon and hit it so you don't have to miss out on future uploads, and thank you once again for watching.